But welcome. This is one of the best parts about my job, which is getting to talk to people who have invested time, money, and effort in building on top of the small thing that we started 2.5 years ago when we launched on Kickstarter. But to know that there's 18,000 developers around the world that you guys are a subset of that are building and hacking and iterating on top of Pebble is just fantastic. I'm excited to talk to each and every one of you. There's tons of Pebblers here. I'm sure we'll get the chance to introduce a lot of them, and pretty much you guys will feel free to talk to us, as well as all of you about anything. It's going to be a weekend of talking, meeting, hacking, building, and then drinking a couple beers in the evenings, I think, I'm sure. So a little bit about the Pebble philosophy. I wanted to take a second just to talk about kind of what drives us to build the products that we build. There's some underlying parts of the product and design philosophy that influence the products that we build, the software that we build, how we talk about the product, how we market it, how we share it with the world. It started off six and a half years ago with a core idea of just being able to build a watch that showed you text messages. That was literally it at the beginning. It's come a long way since there. One of the big revelations that we had in 2011 was that, hey, this piece of hardware that we had built, which is Impulse, our first watch, other people wanted to build on top of it. Other developers, other hackers, other makers wanted to build apps on top of what we had made. And back in 2011, we launched the first SDK for a wearable. The SDK itself was a bit of a hack, very much a hack. But what it showed us was that people all around the world were interested in building on top of it. At the time, there were only about, I think, 1,000 Impulse watches in the field when we launched the SDK. And over the next 3 or 4 months, over 100 apps were built and launched and released for Impulse, which is a pretty crazy ratio, 1 app for every 10 watches in the field. I think now, courtesy of, I guess, Paul and his watch face generator, creating over 250,000 watches, we're still maintaining a pretty epic ratio of about 1 app for every couple watches in the field. Which is fantastic, but I think that core idea that we had, or we found really back in 2011, that the product that we make, the hardware that we make, the software that we make can be so much more if we just open it up and let other people build on top of it, that since that point we have never really turned back. That's become an incredibly important part of our product design philosophy, the architecture behind why we designed the hardware the way that we designed it. It drives, it drove our Kickstarter. It drove our Kickstarter to focus on 3 things: notifications, sports and activity tracking, and the open watch face app ecosystem. Since then, we've sold and launched and shipped hundreds of thousands of watches. There's people in over 150 countries around the world using Pebble It's a crazy fact, and I sometimes it's weird to think about, but there's people everywhere that are using it. But more importantly, there's this underlying idea that people use it for notifications, people use it for sports and fitness and that kind of stuff. And then there's just this long tail of thousands of different ways that people are using this same little piece of hardware in their daily life on a regular basis. Part of why we design products is part of the reason why we design Pebble and products like that is because we love that people use it on a regular basis. To us, a successful product is one that people use for all intents and purposes every day. It becomes part of their life, it meshes into their everyday life, and it becomes part of their habit, part of their routine, and over time adds more and more value. So in the future, as we build and create new APIs, new parts of the SDK, and even new products in the future, we're going to be keeping that in the back of our mind. We're going to be designing things that people use on a regular basis. We're going to be designing things that mesh into your life, the way that you live it, the way that you'd like to live it as well. And over time, our plan is to grow Pebble and make it, ever so much, piece by piece, more important in your daily life. Our product is not designed or meant to just completely revolutionize your life the moment that you put it on your wrist, even though it has for some people. That's not 100% our intention. Our goal is much more to create a compelling product, a useful product, a product that works for you and our customers. And again, over time, just becomes more. Couple other points. As I mentioned before, we've been working extremely hard to craft an open, an extensible, an expandable platform. That's our intention. That's our goal. That will continue into the future. This developer retreat, as fun as it will be and as exciting as it will be, one of the real valuable things for me and what I know for everyone else on the team is it's a chance to talk to users, people who use the product on a regular basis, a very regular basis for people who use more than one, and talk to the developers who are building on top of it. So we're here to gather as much feedback as physically possible. We're here to talk, we're here to debate, we're here to explain, we're here to explore, whiteboard. We've got an entire wall that's not a whiteboard wall, so don't write on it, but there are a ton of sticky notes and Sharpies, so please write on the sticky notes and then attach to the wall. Comments, feedback, ideas, talk to us in person and write them down. That's the optimal one, because for us, we're in this for the long haul. This is the thing that we wake up in the morning and do every single day. We'll be doing it. I've been doing it for 6 years. I'll be doing it for many, many more years into the future. And I'd say that this is still, even though we have been doing it for a little while, basically ground zero for wearables. And as much as we think we know exactly where this is going, we don't. We have a pretty good idea, we have a path, and we have a plan, and we have some fundamental core design sort of like philosophy elements. But over time, things will change, things will get better, things will morph. And we're interested in making it more than just the 100 people that work at Pebble. It's fun to have people working at the company and building it, but it's more than that. And the people who use Pebble on a regular basis, the developers, you guys, the people who are hacking on top of it, are some of the most important data points that we can add into this increasingly complex puzzle of how do we add technology into people's everyday lives? How do we bring technology closer to the human on their body? And it's going to be an amazing adventure. This is just one more step along the way. I'll reiterate once again, please come talk to me. Please come to talk to the Pebble team. Everyone's here to talk and to work and to hack and to build. So let's make it an awesome couple days. Thomas is our fearless developer and SDK team lead. He's here to give you guys the brief on what we've been working on and how this weekend's going to go down. So, Thomas.